the Communication Arts Department at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. We're glad you're here. Hey, come on in.
Hey, I'm Chris.
Hi, my name is Cora Cloud.
Hi, I'm Chad.
Hey, I'm Anisha.
Hey, I'm Jay Lamar.
Hey, I'm James Lomax.
Hi, I'm Mary Catherine.
I'm Roscoe Hayes.
Hello, I'm Sonia.
I'm Annalise, and this is Prada, and we're Communication Arts majors at UAHuntsville.
Well, I chose communication arts because I wanted to master the way people communicate with each other.
A lot of people have concerns, and a lot of parents have concerns about what is my child going to do with a communication arts degree. Well, in my experience, my parents really urged me to major in communication arts and supported me in it because really you can go anywhere you want with your career with communication arts. If you understand how to relay information to anyone under any circumstances, which is constantly changing, especially with the technology era, if you can do that effectively, you're going to go as far as you want to in any career.
I've had an interesting college experience because I've divided my time between going to school and working professionally in New York City as a Radio City Rockette. So while I was dancing in New York, I was also doing public relations, such as news interviews, public service announcements, those type of things. And I attribute all of my success there to my classes here because I took public speaking, I had to give presentations, so all the things that I learned in the classroom helped me in my real life experiences in New York.
I like watching how people interact. I am a very avid people watcher, and one of the things that communication arts offered me was the ability to actually tie what I liked about people and in relationships to actual theories and understanding those relationships.
I spent a year and a half in the engineering program. I discovered I liked talking to engineers and teaching them how to write better than I actually liked engineering.
I chose to be a communication arts major because the opportunities are limitless. I mean, you go and if you get an engineering degree, then what are you going to be? You're going to be an engineer. But I was so interested in so many different things. I'm interested in marketing, sales, government law, and the fact of the matter is that all those at the core of it factor on communications. And the communications art degree really gives you a broad understanding and opens you up to limitless possibilities.
Well, a lot of people may be wondering, like, hey, well, what are you going to do with a communications degree? But the thing is, a communications degree it opens so many doors. With a communications degree, you can actually go into any field you would like.
I spent the last 2 semesters interning with Teledyne Brown Engineering for NASA. I helped train the console staff for the International Space Station.
I plan on going to grad school and getting a master's in public policy so I can take my communication skills to either Washington, D.C. or government and be an advocate for groups that can't speak as well for themselves.
Making a rhetorical criticism book strictly based upon hip-hop.
Once I graduate from UAH, I plan on getting my master's degree in advertising and going towards becoming a creative director for a magazine or a traveling agency would be great.
I would like to go back home to Yemen and use my degree to help people have a better understanding of United States and the rules in the Middle East.
When I graduate from UAHuntsville, I want to be a sports anchor.
I actually am going to pursue doing marketing and PR with something in the physics field. That's why I'm keeping my physics major, actually because I considered dropping it down to a minor, but it's allowed me to kind of stay competitive in the field of PR and marketing because some don't have that background. So that's kind of the goal, is to eventually go into marketing and PR for something technological at Oak Ridge or Redstone. So
I think that the communication art classes are different because they give you a wide variety of classes. They offer interpersonal, nonverbal, history of rhetoric, theories in rhetoric, but also because it lends itself to a wide variety of jobs. So you can do public relations, you can do journalism, you can do event planning, training and development, all sorts of things.
I moved to Huntsville in 2008 from Salem, Oregon, and it was a huge transition, but I really found my home in the very small and personal, very family-oriented communication arts department. It was like a coming home experience. I'd started out in a program that didn't fit me, and when I walked into the comm department, it was like coming home. I found exactly where I needed to be.
For the most part, the ability to ask questions to other students, to professors, the ease of that is tremendously more than other classes, and it allows me to learn better because I'm not the smartest guy in the world by any means, and so for me to be able to ask questions to my professors after class, during class, before class, and having professors that are actually approachable is highly important.
The main difference with communication arts classes is that it's interactive. It's physical as well as mental, and it has something to do with you, and not only just you, but everybody else around you.
I transferred here from a much larger school, and the thing I really love about it is the smaller department and the professors. You get to know everybody. The professors know you. They know exactly what you want to do. So say, for instance, I want to do journalism, and one of my professors was like, hey, you need to do this because you'd be the perfect person for it. So that's what I love about it, is you just know everybody and everybody knows you.
The Communication Arts Department at UAH is really different from any other department because the classes are less of a lecture and they're more of a conversation. Everybody's involved. We're all communicating about what we're learning about. So it's a lot more fun.
It's weird to go into somewhere literally a semester, the beginning of the semester, and not know anybody really. And then at the end, you know who's going to talk 90% of the time, you know who's going to put their input in, and you know who's going to put side little smirky comics, and you just get ready to laugh. It's enjoyable. It's something that I didn't expect going in.
One of my favorite classes I took was media writing because that's what I want to go into, is journalism. And media writing taught me everything I need to know about how to write for a newspaper.
My favorite class at UAHuntsville so far is Human Communications 231. See, in this class we get to go in depth on how we as humans interact with each other, whether verbally or non-verbally, and it's very interesting.
Some of my favorite classes have been history rhetoric with Dr. Roundtree because I'm very active in local politics, and they talk a lot about the rhetoric of people's speeches and things like that, and what they actually mean when they're talking. And so I have this class background, so I can sit there and listen to speeches and understand why they're saying what they're saying.
Persuasion, and we're doing practices on subliminal messages and how to persuade people through cinematic presentations, subliminal messages, as well through music and art.
It's 313. It's business professional communication. One of the biggest things that I learned from that class was basically to effectively communicate things to select markets, and also to be able to effectively allow other people to communicate well in the business atmosphere. And that has helped me, tenfold, especially with my background in physics, to talk to people in the technological fields and allow them to better understand their markets and to communicate to the markets and their employees.
Classes. Theater history has been amazing. Acting class, of course. Other than that, probably communication theories.
My favorite class so far has probably been nonverbal. It's a really great class if you aren't familiar with it. Essentially, it deals with all the different ways that people communicate without actually saying anything. So not just the words they say, but the way they say them, the gestures they use, the way they communicate by means of their space. And it was really kind of eye-opening for me because you always hear that, well, you cannot not communicate. But that was the first time that I actually learned that really you can't not communicate.
Another class that's been really good for me is Dr. Roundtree's Burkean theory. I had never heard of Kenneth Burke until him, and it has been rather life-changing. It really has altered the way that I view communications as a whole, and it shows how little I knew before actually pursuing a degree in communications.
I really love taking the Communications 451 training and development class, learning how to teach other people in a very short and hands-on way. It was a very meaningful and familiar experience to me. It's something that I had a lot of passion for and I really enjoyed.
I chose communication arts at UAHuntsville.
I chose.
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 I chose communication arts.